Hey baseball players, Coach Garner here from baseballtraining.com. In this video, we're going to go over some really important and effective strategies so that you can lose weight and be a lean, fast baseball player. First and foremost, it's of no mistake that at the top of this whiteboard, I have the word satiety listed. Satiety simply means feelings of fullness. You want to feel fuller for slightly longer if you're going to do any kind of diet that's going to allow for some fat loss, because that's going to be more comfortable in the long term. That's what's going to make you feel better out in the baseball field. No one wants to be hungry playing baseball. No one wants to be hungry in their training. So choosing high satiety foods and utilizing high satiety strategies will ultimately allow you to better stick to your diet and perform better out in the diamond. So let's get right into it. First comes down to volume. Volume certainly means the size of your food. What's the cubic volume of the food that you're eating? The reason why this is important is because the volume of your food matters, because the size of the food that enters the stomach after you chew actually sends chemical signaling processes to the brain to create feelings of fullness or feelings of satiety. There are literally stretch reflexes that happen in the stomach, and when you stretch them, there's a reflex chemical response to send signals to the brain that you're full. So we want bigger foods. And the thing is, big foods doesn't mean high calorie foods. It just means big foods. So we can use foods to get us full that don't provide the calorie punch so that we can get lean. For example, watermelon is an excellent example because 4 ounces of watermelon only provides 7 grams of carbohydrates. It's 28 calories. It's absolutely nothing. So that's a lot of volume to send the chemical signaling to the brain to get us full, but not provide the calories to allow us to gain weight. Oatmeal is another excellent option for food volume. We add water to oatmeal. Oatmeal really expands and becomes a high volume food, but it's also pretty hard to eat. 1 cup of rice provides about 45 grams of carbs, but 1 cup of oatmeal provides about 40 grams of carbs. But that's 1 cup of dry oatmeal. You put 1 cup of dry oatmeal in a bowl, add water, watch that thing expand. That's going to be really hard to eat. You're going to be eating sludge for like a half an hour. So choosing high volume foods are going to create more satiety in the long run, which is going to help you be fuller longer and allow your diet to be more effective for fat loss. Number 2, protein. We know protein's important for things like recovery from exercise, muscle growth, and stimulating muscle growth and doing these important things, right? But a lot of people seem to forget that in the research, there is something known as the satiety index, in that some foods provide more satiety than others, even when calories are equated for. Protein is one of the highest on that list. Proteins are very highly satiating. They help you feel fuller longer, so adding some source of protein to every meal and snack that you have throughout the day is definitely going to provide you more satiety. On top of this, protein will actually result in a 25% thermic effect of feeding. So a thermic effect of feeding simply means it costs energy in order to properly break protein down. So to create the enzymes to break protein down, to separate proteins into peptides and amino acids, and to deliver those peptides and amino acids around the body causes the organs a lot of work, 25% work to be exact. So if we have 100 calories of protein, 25 of those calories are burned off immediately simply through digestion. So not only is it going to allow you to be fuller longer, but 25% of it's kind of a write-off right away due to what's known as the thermic effect of feeding. Number 3, a good example of protein is lean meats. Adding lean meats to your meal, each and every single meal and snack, is an excellent way to get this job done. Number 3 is fiber. Back to the satiety index. Fiber is also very high on the satiety index. Fiber actually helps the stomach expand to send off those chemical signaling processes we talked about in volume, but fiber also does something else. It slows down the entire digestion process. No matter what you eat, if you add fiber to it, the entire digestive process slows. When the entire digestive process slows, moves through the stomach slower, moves through the intestine slower, moves through all this process happens slower. That sends signals of satiety. there's still food in the gut, and there's still food in the stomach, still food in the sections of the small intestine. Well, the brain says, hey, don't eat another meal yet because we still got food in there. That's satiety signaling. So adding fiber source to every meal, it would be just simply adding a fruit or vegetable to each meal of the day. It's going to allow you to be fuller longer and allow you to drop more body fat in the long run. Not to mention, fiber also improves the good bacteria to bad bacteria status in the gut, which can result in an additional 100 to 150 calories burned per day just because you have a good bacteria status. Less calories. We're always looking for more calorie burning, which is more fat loss. Lastly, number 4, reward. Reward can be a very complex topic because it involves brain chemistry. But very long story short, there is a reward process that kicks off in the brain when we eat highly rewarding foods, such as chips, such as chocolate, such as bacon. Essentially anything that has high sugar, high fat, or high salt, or a combination of all three, activates the reward pathways and also increases appetite. It's of no mistake why you have one chip and then you look at the bag and the bag's gone. Suddenly you've eaten the whole bag of chips. That's the reward pathway kicking off, signaling appetite and forcing you to eat more calories than you otherwise would. So how do we eliminate the reward? We eat boring foods, okay? Sometimes it's actually a good strategy to eat boring foods. The old school bodybuilding meals are boring meals that don't stimulate your appetite. I don't think anyone ever comes in, trains with me on Monday and says, oh, Dan, I messed up, man. I just couldn't stay away from the Brussels sprouts this weekend. Saturday night, I probably had a pound of Brussels sprouts. But that stuff doesn't happen because it doesn't stimulate the reward pathway. So having meals like chicken breast, broccoli, and oatmeal can be bland, sure. But is it effective to not stimulate reward pathway, regulate your appetite signaling, provide more satiety, and create fat loss in your body? Absolutely it is. These strategies, you guys, are going to allow you to drop body fat without having to suffer. If you like this video and you like the tips I'm offering you today, give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, guys.